Na Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisance unto him. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Okay, so we are reading about the various incarnations of Supreme Personality of Godhead. We also learned a very, very important verse, Ete cham shakala pumsam krishnastu bhagavan swayam indrari vyakulam loke mridayanti yuge yuge. So that verse tells us that all these incarnations, portions of the portions, plenary portions, everything is coming from Krishna. All like even Sri Vallabh Prabhu is teaching, like he taught us like how many Manvantar avatars are there, like somewhere around more than 500,000, in one like one lifetime of Brahma. So they all are Krishna's incarnations, right? So Krishna expands himself into all these living beings, and we are also his part and parcels. So that's what we need to learn. Yeah. So now we will move forward. Yeah, ete cham shatala pumsam. So this was a long purport. Seema Mataji had read this probably. Okay. So 1:3:29. जन्मगुह्यं भगवतो य एतत् प्रयतो नरः सायं प्रातर्गुणन् भक्त्या दुःखग्रामाद्विमुच्यते. जन्म, birth, guhyam, mysterious, bhagavatah, of the Lord, yah, one, etat, all these, prayatah, carefully, narah, man, sayam, evening, pratah, morning, grinan, recites bhaktya with devotion, dukkha gramat, from all miseries, vimuchyate, gets relief from. Yes, Sachin Prabhu, please go ahead.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearances of the Lord with devotion in the morning and in the evening gets relief from all miseries of life. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead has declared that anyone who knows the principles of the transcendental birth and activities of the Lord will go back to Godhead after being relieved from this material tabern, tabernacle.
Tabernacle. Yeah.
tabernacle. So simply knowing factually the mysterious ways of the Lord's incarnation in the material world can liberate one from the material bondage. Therefore, the birth and activities of the Lord, as manifested by Him for the welfare of the people in general, are not ordinary. They are mysterious, and only by those who carefully try to go deep into the matter of spiritual devotion is the mystery discovered.
By
Thus,
spiritual devotion, by
by
spiritual devotion.
spiritual devotion is the mystery discovered. Thus, one gets liberation from material bondage. It is advised, therefore, that one who simply recites this chapter of Bhagavatam describes the appearance of the Lord in different incarnations in sincerity and devotion can have insight into the birth and activities of the Lord. The very word vimutti or liberation
Yeah,
indicates
vimukti. Vimukti.
vimukti, yeah,
Mm.
vimukti or liberation indicates that the Lord's birth and activities are all transcendental. Otherwise, simply by reciting them, one could not attain liberation. They are therefore mysterious, and those who do not follow the prescribed regulations of devotional service are not entitled to enter into the mysteries of his births and activities.
Yeah. Anybody remembers that verse where it says, who knows the principle of transcendental birth and activities of Lord will go back to Godhead after being relieved from this material tabernacle? It's in chapter 4, 4.7. जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो वेत्ति तत्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्मं नयति मामेति सो अर्जुन. Remember, janma karma cha me divyam. So yes, who knows about the transcendental appearance of Lord's birth and activities? They all are, they will go back to Godhead, or they are already liberated in this world. So I was just contemplating on this, that what happens if we know the birth and activities of the Lord? What happens? Anybody? If we
I think
know,
it kind of you start learning and associating more. I think so.
yeah, but yeah, I was just refining my question, that what happens if we know that Lord's birth and activities are transcendental? That's important.
Hmm.
What happens if we know that Lord's birth and activities are transcendental? So, transcendental means what? Beyond three modes of nature, not this worldly, right? So, worldly activities means what? That people perform worldly activities when they have some interest, right? Their own self interest is there, like selfish interest rather. But Lord is transcendental. That means he doesn't have any selfish interest. That means he is not involved in this material world, but still he is involved, because for us it is only for the welfare. So he has only love in his heart. So that frees us, because nobody can then ask a question that, why did you do this with me, Lord? What did I do to you? Because he's transcendental. What kind of questions we are asking? These are all worldly questions, right? So that makes us free, that there is someone who is above and beyond all these worldly matters, and he just unconditionally loves us, and therefore he comes, even though he has sahastra koti Lakshmi serving him in Golok, but still he comes for us, right? So that makes us. And when we develop this kind of faith, then we never come back to this material world. So that's the essence of this. Okay.
Mataji, 4.7, you referred to Bhagavad Gita's
Four,
shloka,
yeah, 4.7 or 4.9, but I believe 4.7. Yeah. Yes.
but that's from Bhagavad Gita. Okay.
Yes, Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Shilpi Mataji, please go ahead.
1.3.30 एतद्रूपं भगवतो है अरूपस्य चिद् आत्मना माया गुणैर्विरचितं महादद महाददादिभिरात्मनि. Synonyms: Etat, all these rupam forms Bhagavata of the Lord. He certainly arupasya, of one who has no material form. Chit Atmanah, of the transcendence. Maya, material energy. Gunehe, by the qualities. Virachitam, manufactured. Mahat Adi Bihi, with the ingredients of matter. Atmani, in the self. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
The conception of the virāṭ, universal form of the Lord as appearing in the material world, is imaginary. It is to enable the less intelligent and neophytes to adjust to the idea of the Lord's having form. But factually, the Lord has no material form. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The conception of the Lord, known as the Vishwarupa or the Virat Rupa, is particularly not mentioned along with the various incarnation of the Lord, because all the incarnation of the Lord mentioned above are transcendental, and there is not a tinge of materialism in these their bodies. There is no difference between the body and self as there is in the conditioned soul. The Virat Rupa is conceived for those who are just neophyte worshippers. For them, the material Virat Rupa is presented, and it will be explained in the second canto. In the Virat Rupa, the material manifestation of different planets have been conceived as his legs, hands, etc. Actually, all such descriptions are for the neophytes. The neophytes cannot conceive of anything beyond matter. The material conception of the Lord is not counted in the list of his factual forms. As Paramatma or Super Soul, the Lord is within each and every material form, even within the atoms, but the outward material form is but an imagination, both for the Lord and for the living being. The present form of the conditioned soul are also not factual. The conclusion is that the material conception of the body of the Lord as Virat is imaginary. Both the Lord and the living beings are living spirits and have original spiritual bodies.
Hmm. Yeah. You want to share anything, Mataji, from this? Or anyone?
In the first part, I think Mataji is the same thing what you were just explaining, that these are so transcendental, or the forms that there is no materialism in that.
Hmm.
Uh, but I don't understand this line. The conclusion is that the material conception of the body of the Lord as Virat is imaginary. I don't. I'm confused with the word imaginary.
Yeah, because in these incarnations there is no incarnation like Virat Roop is mentioned, right? All these incarnations we learned, so
Mhm,
there is no incarnation named as Virat Roop, because all are personal incarnations. Lord doesn't come in impersonal incarnation, but this impersonal incarnation is there to convince the people who don't believe in personal incarnation. Many people say that nature is God, right? So
mhm,
they are those people who don't believe in personal form of Lord, right? So they are impersonalists basically.
mhm.
So to convince such people, or those who are neophytes or new people who are just trying to understand the empirical world in one sense, so for them our shastras map the body of Lord with different things, like trees are his hair, the mountains are his bone, the rivers are his something veins, Lord's veins. So like that our shastras are giving that kind of mapping, but there is no universal form in which the Lord comes. He always comes in a personal form. That is the main thing here.
But Virat Rupa is not imaginary, right? It is a like Rupa of which he showed to Arjuna, right?
Yeah, but actually he can take any form basically. He can take
Mhm.
any form, but he doesn't live in that form.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nothing is impossible for him to convince people. And you see in 11th chapter, from where you are remembering this, Arjuna is asking these questions that show me that form, and there Prabhupada is giving a purport that this is Arjuna is asking for the future generation. If somebody claims to be God, then they should show the universal form to convince. So it is to convince the materialist. That's why even Arjuna is also asking, And Prabhupada is putting there that this is the test of any person who is claiming to be God, that whether he can show his rupa like that or not. So Krishna can do anything. That's the main thing. But that is not an incarnation that he takes. He's showing to Arjuna that his Kala Rupa feature, that okay, I mean, I am all this whole universe. That is me, right? I am inside, outside, everywhere. So that's what Arjuna is saying, that I don't see any beginning, no end. So that's what we also need to understand, that Krishna is everywhere, but he doesn't stay in this form. This is not personal form. This is not what he likes. He comes in personal form so that he can have loving exchanges with his devotees. So, so Virat Rupa is conceived for those who are just neophyte worshippers. For them, material Virat Rupa is presented, and it will be explained in second canto. So we will come to that. So this is material form, and Lord doesn't have a material form. That's why it is called as imaginary.
Okay, got it, Mataji. Thank you.
Okay, so let's move on. 1331. यथा नभसि मेघौघो रेणुर्वा पार्थिवो निले एवं दृष्टरि दृश्यत्वमारोपितमबुद्धिभिः. Yatha, as it is, nabhasi, in the sky, mega ogah, a mass of clouds, renuhu, dust, va, as well as, parthivaha, muddiness, anile, in the air, evam, thus, drishtrari, to the seer, drishyatvam, for the purpose of seeing, aropitam, is implied, abuddhibhi, by the less intelligent persons. Yes, Sachin Prabhu, go ahead.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Clouds and dust are carried by the air, but less intelligent persons say that the sky is cloudy and the air is dirty. Similarly, they also implant material bodily conceptions on the spirit self. Purport. It is further confirmed herein that with our material eyes and senses we cannot see the Lord, who is all spirit. We cannot even detect the spiritual spark which exists within the material body of the living being. We look to the outward covering of the body or subtle mind of the living being, but we cannot see the spiritual spark within the body. So we have to accept the living being's presence by the presence of his gross body. Similarly, those who want to see the Lord with their present material eyes or with the material senses are advised to meditate on the external gigantic external feature called the virāṭ Roop. For instance, when a particular gentleman goes in his car, which can be seen very easily, we identify the car with the man within the car. When the president goes out in his particular car, we say is the president. For the time being, we identify the car with the president. Similarly, less intelligent men who want to see God immediately without necessary qualification are shown first the gigantic material cosmos as the form of the Lord, although the Lord is within and without. The clouds in the sky and the blue of the sky are better appreciated in this connection. Although the bluish tint of the sky and the sky itself are different, we conceive of the color of the sky as blue, but that is general conception for the layman only.
See what Shilpi Mataji was asking, like
Same
Prabhupada is
thing.
answering directly.
Yes.
Yes. Srila
So
Prabhupada, that's why like he's talking to us directly. That's why through all these purports.
yeah, it is very much related to the earlier purport and
Yes.
the earlier one and what Shilpi
Yes.
was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one point also comes along with what we were discussing earlier, that this conception is for the people to start some at some level of faith,
Hmm.
yeah, so that they don't completely become atheists, but they are neophytes, means the starting the journey.
So
That's why.
Mataji, I have, I just have one question. Maybe I'll ask later on. That's
Yeah, we'll just finish
yeah,
one or two more.
yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to little bit comment on this, that like very nice analogy has been given by Srila Prabhupada, and this is very very subtle also, like sky and blue color, right? How we relate, and always when we see blue in the sky, then we say it's sky only, right? But that blue is different and the sky is different. Actually, the blue is color of water. Actually, the ocean color is reflecting in the space. But whenever we see blue color, we say that it's sky. So we are getting information about sky through that external blue color. At least there is a start somewhere, right? Similarly, when a president is going in the car, we say president is going. We never say that president's car is going. We say president is going, right? So this is very subtly, very nicely presented by Prabhupada, that how this Krishna's universal form is the beginning of understanding of Krishna, right? So that's why when people say that God is nature, then they are just starting to understand one aspect of Krishna. So that's such so much compassion in our shastras, right? That they are they don't even want to discuss about Krishna, they don't want to look at him, they don't want to talk about him, but they want to establish that God is nature. But of course, nature is what? Mother Durga, and she is sister of Krishna. So our shastras connected like this, that they have started a little bit understanding about Krishna. So this is very, very merciful, because our shastras are trying to bring everyone toward Krishna, yena kena prakarena, or somehow or other. So that's why even if they say that God is nature, then also it's fine. They are slowly, slowly understanding. And then our shastras are also explaining in second canto. You will see how God's different limbs or Krishna's different limbs are compared to the these Pancha Mahabhut in different natural elements. So that we will come to see. So yeah, this is very beautiful. Yeah, and these analogies also you can remember, that cloud and dust are carried by air, so actual thing is air, right? But the less intelligent person say that sky is cloudy and the air is dirty, right? But air is always pure. Air is always pure. Like even like we smell something, right? Some dirty smell is coming, okay? Then we say that the air is so smelling so bad, but it's not the air, it's that smell, right? So so we think that okay, but when air passes from that dirty area, and if it goes into like a rose garden, then it takes up rose fragrance, right? So we say, wow, air is smelling so good. But again, air doesn't have anything. It's just pure. Similarly, Krishna is pure. He's purely transcendental. But we stick labels, okay, like that. So therefore, Prabhupada is establishing this point for our understanding again and again, that Krishna is transcendental. His body is transcendental. His body has no material tinge. But for the neophytes, if their understanding is okay, God is nature, then it's okay. They are starting there. And that's why Krishna's limbs are being shown, so that they can connect with Krishna. So, yeah, I'm just explaining too much on this, but this point is very important to understand. Okay, so last verse for today, 1332. So, maybe I'll read this. Atah param yada vyaktam व्यूढ़ गुणब्रूहि ब्रूहिन्तम् अदृष्टा श्रुतवस्तु स्वात्स जीवो यत् पुनर्भवः अतः दिस परम beyond yat which avyaktam unmanifested avyudha without formal shape guna brahmitam affected by the qualities adrashta unseen ashruta unheard a vastuvat being like that saha that jivah living being yat that which punabhava takes birth repeatedly. Beyond this gross conception of form is another subtle conception of form, which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being has his form beyond this subtlety. Otherwise, he could not have repeated births. Wow, technical. Beyond this gross conception of form is another subtle conception of form, which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being has his form beyond this subtlety. Otherwise, he could not have repeated births. So, probably it's talking about the subtle body. So, let's see. As the gross cosmic manifestation is conceived as gigantic body of the Lord, so also there is conception of his subtle form, which is simply realized without being seen, heard, or manifested. But in fact, all these gross or subtle conception of the body are in relation with the living beings. Yeah, so subtle body we have like mind, right? Mind, what is that? Three things. Bhumi, Rapo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhi, Evacha. Yeah, so mind, intelligence, and false ego. So these are all in relationship with the living beings. The living being has a spiritual form beyond this gross material or subtle psychic existence. The gross body and psychic functions cease to act as soon as the living being leaves the visible gross body. So yes, it is talking about the subtle material body of living entities. So this, our physical form is there. Okay, this is one form, which is external form. Then we have a subtle form also, which is mind, intelligence, and false ego. That is subtle. And then there is soul also, which is beyond both of these forms. Okay, the physical form and the subtle form. Soul is beyond all those, both these forms. In fact, we say that the living being has gone away because he is unseen and unheard, even when the gross body is not acting. So when some person dies, so we say that they passed away, right? But why do we say that? Because we can't see their body anymore. But did they really pass away? Did they really become non-existent? No, that doesn't happen, because soul is still there, but it is unseen, right? It is not visible to us, and it is in a very, very subtle form. So in fact, we say that the living being has gone away because he is unseen and unheard, even when the gross body is not acting. When the living being is in sound sleep, we know that he is within the body by his breathing, right? So when somebody is sleeping, we don't say that they are dead or they have passed away, because we know that they are breathing and the soul is still residing. And the reason is that the soul is still in the body. That's why we don't say that they have passed away. So although body is inactive at that time, so the living beings passing away from the body does not mean that there is no existence of the living soul. It is there. It is there. Otherwise, how can he repeat his births again and again? Yeah. So yeah, that line meant that the soul comes back in different bodies according to the karma of living entity. Okay, because ultimately the responsible doer is soul. Although decisions are made through, senses, mind, and intelligence and false ego, but actually that person who is residing in that body, that accrues the karma. Okay, so that's why the soul comes back, and that's the proof that soul is there. Otherwise, if only body was there, right, then once it is gone, it is gone. How can it come back, the same body, the same person? But the person is soul. That's why Prabhupada is emphasizing on this transcendental existence of living entities as well as Krishna. The conclusion is that the Lord is eternally existent in his transcendental form, which is neither gross nor subtle, like that of living beings. So in our case, we have a gross form. What is that? Our physical body. We have a subtle form. What is that? Our mind, intelligence, and false ego. But in Lord's case, he doesn't have these two forms. Okay. So that universal form that we were talking about was imaginary, right? Just to convince the materialist or neophytes, right? But Lord doesn't have these two forms that we have. Okay, Lord has purely transcendental form. In the whole time, he never has such a form. Okay, what we have. His body is never to be compared to the gross and subtle bodies of living beings. All such conceptions of God's body are imaginary. The living being has his eternal spiritual form, which is conditioned only by his material contamination. Right now, our soul is pure, but it is covered. See, right? So, like air is always pure, but it carries the aroma, right? Water is always pure, but like somebody mixes dirt into it. So our soul is also like that. Lord is always like that. So our soul gets contaminated because of the covering. It looks contaminated. Okay. So I hope you understood. It's a little bit philosophical. If anybody has any question, they can please raise it. Let's see.
Yeah, Mataji, I was like, like you can say overwhelmed, as well as like, with that Avtara thing on the side that is going on, like so many.
I know. Yes.
So,
Yes.
but one thing which, Mataji, and whenever you read the purport, you actually go like, you're so much into it. So you go line by line and explain it. And, if you do all the reading, I don't think we'll be able to, progress.
You're right, Prabhu. Yeah.
But one thing that is striking me, and I just want to clarify that, Mataji, and basically the thing is that, when it says that there is no form and it is like, you know, always so transcendental. So, and it's a little bit controversial as well, this question. But like Krishna is also one form. Like we basically pray to,
Incarnation.
yeah, like we basically pray to a form, like and everywhere we go, we see the same. Like it's not like it's different. Like I mean, there are differences. Like somewhere you see like little different postures and everything. But Krishna being like in this material world, and then again we are thinking that it is the form that we really kind of pray to, and we look at him as the supreme personality of Godhead. So how does this all relate? Like I'm just trying to think over, like when there's no form, and then we are actually praying to a form. So is
No,
this
no, form is there. Krishna
okay?
is not formless. Form
Hmm.
is there. We are talking about he doesn't have a physical body like us. He
Okay.
has transcendental body. So when
Hmm.
we will come to fourth chapter, now after this we are going to fourth chapter, right? So there Narad Muni will tell everything about his own life. So when he left his material body, he actually got a spiritual body, and in that way he always travels in all the three worlds. So he travels in his spiritual body. So spiritual body is something, it is something which we have not learned so much about it. Today only we are discussing about it. So
Ma-
Krishna has spiritual form always. Always. Yes, he has no material body like us.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
I actually had a same question as Sachin Prabhu.
Yes.
You mentioned he has a transcendental form, but the thing is, when he was in Vrindavan, he was like a human, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything he was doing to teach us how to be as a human,
Yes.
and so he got born, he got died. I mean, he died too. So I just wanted to understand a little bit. So since he was born and he got that too. So is it something like he was having all the like the conditions and everything the way we have in our body, like
Mm.
soul and all
No. No, no,
those.
no. That's what Prabhupada is explaining. He doesn't have like a separate soul and separate body. But what display he does, you know, like I told Shilpi Mataji, he can take any form, he can show us anything. The display that he does, like he also dies, that is to bewilder the materialist who do not want to accept an authority. So he doesn't want to disturb their free will choice. So let them think that he was a ordinary human, right? But for devotees, he was supreme personality of Godhead. Why? Because so many devotees had realization of his supreme form, and he killed so many demons which were like nobody could imagine to even touch those demons.
Yeah.
So he doesn't lose his supremacy at all, whether he's a child or not. Like he when did he kill Putna? When he was 7 days old.
Oh.
So was he behaving like a human or a god? Right? We get
Yeah.
confused, right? We get
Yeah.
bewildered. So these are all his leelas. That and he is also not always calculating that, oh, I have to do this leela now. Let me take now God's form. Oh, I have to do this now. Yashoda Maya is coming. Whoa, 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 let me get the human form now. It's not like that. All his shaktis, all his potencies are constantly working, to make him forget his position as God. Sometimes they will remind him as his position as God. So it is all for his pleasure and enjoyment. They are doing all this planning all time.
And what about other avatars?
Other avatars are all transcendental. I mean, yes, there are some avatars that are touched by the material world, like we are jivatmas, right? So we are touched by material world. But there are Vishnu Tattva avatars, which are always transcendental, like Rama, Varaha, Nrsimha, all these. But Kumaras are not transcendental avatars, right? So there are some Jiva Tattvas who are empowered avatars. So there are categories of avatars also. Okay, and in those category there is percentage of transcendence. Like last time we read, remember that Lord Shiva has 84%,
Yeah.
and Lord Narayana has 93%, and jivas have 74%. So all are his avatars, but some are completely transcendental. Some have some qualities of him, some transcendence into them, and these are different levels and different gradations. But all Vishnu Tattva avatars are transcendental, and once Krishna takes any avatar, Vara avatar, anything, it remains in his abode. That avatar remains. Yeah.
Mataji, can I say something for my own
Yes.
purification?
Yes, please. Ours
yes.
too.
No,
Ours
no,
also.
no.
Yes,
because
Prabhu, go ahead.
this topic, I also like on and off thought about it, and
Yes.
just picking up different things which hopefully you will tie it, right? So one is in terms of the Vishal Rupa or Virat Rupa, right? And just from Ramayana, and these are just my thoughts, right? Like Kumkaran, when he was going to die, he expanded and fell on the soldiers. So
Right.
if a jiva can do that, then definitely, regardless of which avatar, right,
Yeah.
Krishna can do that, right? So
Yeah.
binding Krishna like that, is impossible, right? So,
Yes.
and then coming to this, Krishna's body or any avatar's body, you talked about the different percentages. And I heard in one of the lectures that, like if a devotee approaches a stone with pure heart, then, I mean, I'm talking about the Murti, then Krishna will be in that stone, from the tiniest deities that the Goswamis found to
Yeah.
the, all the way to the biggest deity. I don't know who that would be, maybe Jagannath, but, so, Mataji, which is the sloka in Bhagavad Gita that however my devotee approaches, I reciprocate? I'm forgetting that.
Ye yatha mam
Yeah, yeah,
prapadde.
yes, yes. So, as the discussion was going on, these things flashed in my mind. So I'm just trying to share and
Yes,
participate.
Prabhu. Absolutely. Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Krishna is very merciful. Thank you for
Mataji, I have a
yes.
question too.
Yes,
So
Mataji.
again, we are talking about that Krishna has a spiritual form, and we know that all the pure devotees, they might have already have the darshan of Krishna's spiritual form, right? So, out of curiosity, because it's not possible for me to have the darshan of Krishna, so like, will they have this, like, Krishna will give the darshan of the same spiritual form to them, or it would be different, or if any of the Maharaj has shared in his lecture, if you know about it?
Maharaj, yes, from Maharaj lecture, I heard that I was asking one time that Prahlad Maharaj, how did he how did he see Narsimhadev in this? How did he see Krishna in this form? So Maharaj said that he had already an affinity to this kind of form in his heart. So Krishna will show us that form whenever we become that fortunate. Although we are already fortunate, he is showing us his deity form, his kirtan form, his sound form, his bhagavatam form. He's in heart of all people who are close to us. So he is showing us he is there. He is there. But if we are talking really about Krishna who was there during Mahabharata, during Dwapar Yuga, so he will show us the form in which we see him. He will show us that form.
Mataji, is the virāṭ Rupa also the transcendental form?
No, because that form doesn't exist.
So that's just a temporary, like material.
Yes, imaginary, material, to show to materialists that okay, God also exists in this form, which you are saying that nature is God. So yes, here he is God.
So that is the Yogeshwara form, right? Or
Uh,
is that the different form?
Well, Yogeshwar, I didn't read in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna himself is called as Yogeshwar. Why?
Right.
Because he is the paramount of all kind of yoga systems. You know,
Mm.
yeah. But this form is not called as Yogeshwara form. It
Okay.
it doesn't mention in Bhagavad Gita.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Shilpi Mataji, is that okay?
Yes, Mataji, I was thinking the same thing, but I was so confused because the way we see Krishna right now, okay. So for Krishna, for me, is like going to the, like, whenever we see all the deities form, other than that, like sometime if you're chanting or meditating on Krishna, like some form of Krishna or Narsimhadev appears, right? But then I get so confused. Oh my God, is it a calendar form or something? So like it's so confusing. Like, okay, if I will get darshan, I will not be able to recognize him. Like, okay, is this a form? Because sometimes a Narsimhadev forms appears and it is very clear in my mind. So I am so confused. Am I imagining a calendar or what?
It's so good. Congratulations that you know that you are going to see him. That's amazing. Uh, but you know, our when we are ready, our heart's ground is so ready. Then, like for example, when we are eating and our stomach is full, nobody else has to tell us that you are full and don't eat anymore. Similarly, when that form will appear, we will know, and he is our guru, his jagat guru, right? So he will give show us, and our guru maharaj will teach us that this is the form. So for now, whichever deity we love the most, just think about them and just offer our names, the chanting of holy name very very lovingly to them at their lotus feet. Yeah, so right
That
now
reminds me
that
of
is
the
nothing.
story of Gajavesh from Jagannath. How
Hmm.
Jagannath ji became the Gajavesh, right? Because the devotee loved Ganpati so much.
Yes,
And so
yes.
Jagannath, just to please that devotee, took the special route of a Gajavesh, right? Just for
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
So
so
it's like that. It's like
beautiful.
Lord appears the way we love him.
Yes,
He's so sweet that he'll take the form that we love.
absolutely, absolutely. So many people have affinity for Lord Ram. Many devotees have affinity for Narsimhadev. So it's just heart's attraction. And for now, we are in Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti stage. So what most important form of Lord is holy name for us and the deity form that we are seeing. Okay. Thank you very much for wonderful participation. So we will stop here, and I'll see you on Monday. Okay, many of us are meeting tomorrow as well. Arjun Sakha
Yes.
Prabhu's program in the church. So
Yes,
hopefully,
Mataji.
hope to see you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Vancha
Krishna.
kalpatarubhyascha,
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Chuck.
Krishna.
Yes, Chuck.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you.